What's the difference between borrow, lend, and loan? You're going to find out right now. So many of my students have trouble using these three verbs correctly. If you are not sure of the difference, this video is for you. I'm going to give you more than 30 examples and a final quiz to test your knowledge. Let's start with borrow. Borrow means to take something from someone with the intention of returning it. So you want to give it back to the person. So you are borrowing something. Here's the basic structure, but you will understand much better with examples. Here's example number 1. I borrowed a pen. So I is the subject, but I is also the receiver of the object. The object is a pen. So I received a pen. You can actually change borrowed for received. I received a pen. So I got a pen. And you can also add the giver of the object, the giver of the pen, which is my friend. I borrowed a pen from my friend. But this part is optional. I borrowed a pen, very nice. I borrowed a pen from my friend is also good. Example 2. She will borrow a car. So she has the intention of getting a car from somebody. So she wants to receive a car from her neighbor. The neighbor is the giver. He is borrowing money, which is fine, or he is borrowing money from the bank. So the bank is the giver of the money, but of course, the bank expects to get the money back. So you are borrowing money from the bank. Here are some other ways to use borrow. So we just studied the basic structure, and now here's a different structure. You could say subject, borrow, object. For example, I borrowed her pen. So you see that in this structure, you don't need to mention the giver because you're using a possessive her pen. Here's the question structure. So when you want to ask a question, you should ask, can I borrow a pen? Which is good. Or can I borrow a pen from you? Good also. Can I borrow your pen? So this one is the same as the alternate structure because you're using your pen. So you don't need to say, can I borrow your pen from you? From you is not necessary. You actually shouldn't put it there because you're using your pen. Let's move on to lend. Lend means to give something to someone temporarily for a short time with the expectation that it will be returned. So in this case, you give something to someone. You don't take something from somebody. Here's the basic structure. So you can see now that the subject is the giver. The subject is not the receiver in the case of lend. And this is what you should remember. Here are some examples. I lent my phone. Good. Or I lent my phone to a friend. To a friend is optional in this case. So I lent my phone, so I gave my phone to a friend, and my friend will return it in a few days. He will lend his umbrella. Probably, if he's a gentleman, he will lend his umbrella to the woman. To the woman is optional. He will lend his umbrella is fine. Number 3, the bank is lending money. True. Or the bank is lending money to the company. So the company is the receiver of the money and the bank is the giver of the money. Here are some other ways to use lend. So we have just studied the basic structure. Here's another structure that you should know. Subject, lend, person, object. A little complex. Here it is. I lent my friend my phone. I lent my friend, the person, my phone, the object. Or, even easier, I lent her my phone. I lent her my phone. This is much more common. Question structure. Here's an example. Can you lend me your phone? Very good. Can you give me your phone, right? Give me, I'm the person, and your phone is the object that I want. Can you lend me your phone? Or you could switch and put the person at the end. So you could say, can you lend your phone to me? Which is also good. What's the difference between borrow and lend? Because we have studied both by now, so you should know the difference. Here it is. Borrow, the subject is the receiver, and you can add from the giver. So for example, I borrowed a pen from my friend. And you can change borrow for received. I received a pen from my friend. If that works, it means you have to use borrow. Lend, on the other hand, the subject is the giver, and at the end you can add to a certain receiver. For example, I lent a pen to my friend. In this case, lent can be switched for gave. I gave a pen to my friend. If you can say gave, then you have to use lent. So remember, lend means give and borrow means receive. Finally, loan. Loan is very similar to lend. It means to give something, but it's especially for money, temporarily for a short time, with the expectation of repayment, and often there is some interest involved, maybe 5% interest, so you have to give back more than what you originally got. Here's the basic structure, but once again, I'm going to give you some examples. She loaned $5,000. Great. So you see now the structure is the same as the structure for lend. The subject is the giver, and you can add to plus receiver at the end. So you could say she loaned $5,000 to her friend. Example 2. She won't loan any money. Or she won't loan any money to her brother. Example 3. Banks loan money. True. Or banks loan money to home buyers. So people who want to buy homes, they are the receivers of the money, and the banks are the givers of the money. They are the lenders. Here's something to consider. Instead of loaned, you can always use lend. So you can say she lent $5,000 to her friend. It has the same meaning, and actually lend is much more common. So if I were you, I would use lend instead of loan. She won't loan any money to her brother. She won't lend money to her brother. Banks loan money to home buyers. Banks lend money to home buyers. It's exactly the same, and it's actually much more common. So try to use lend instead of loan. Here are other ways to use loan. So we studied the basic structure. I loaned $200. I loaned $200 to my coworker. Here's a different structure. Right here, I loaned my coworker $200. So you can switch the person around. The receiver can go right after loan. I loaned my coworker $200, or I loaned him $200. The question structure, right here, can you loan me some money? Or you can switch the person around and put it at the end of the sentence, and that will become, can the bank loan money to small businesses? There is one more difference between borrow, lend, and loan. Here it is. Borrow is a verb. I borrowed my friend's phone. Lend is also a verb. My friend lent me his phone. Loan is a verb too. The bank loaned me some money. However, loan is also a noun. And this is a key difference because borrow and lend are not nouns, but loan is also a noun. I got a loan from the bank. Now, a loan as a noun is an amount of money that is borrowed. It's the actual money. That is the loan. And it's, of course, typically from a bank, and it must be paid back with interest. So here are some examples of how you can use loan as a noun. He applied for a student loan. The company took out a business loan. He was approved for a car loan. She made a personal loan to a friend. He paid off the loan on time. Pay off means he returned the money on time. The organization offered a low-interest loan. It's quiz time now. Time to test yourself. Let's give it a try. Here's a situation for you. Your friend's computer has died and you have an extra laptop. What will you do? Here's the sentence I want you to use, and these are your three choices: borrow, lend, or loan. So what are you going to put in the blank? You ready? I will lend her my laptop. Very nice. How about this one? So same situation, but now it's the other way around. My friend will my laptop. What do you put in the blank? Ready? My friend will borrow my laptop. Question 3. Right or wrong? You tell me. Here's the question. Can you borrow me your pencil? What do you think? Is that right or is it wrong? It is wrong. Now, can you correct it? Ready? Here's how to correct it. Can you borrow me your pencil? We would say, can you lend me your pencil? Lend plus person. Questions 4 and 5. Here we go. You are making a cake, but you are missing 2 eggs. What will you do? Here's the sentence that you should use. I will eggs from my neighbor. And the answer is, I will borrow eggs from my neighbor. Now try with this one. My neighbor will me 2 eggs. Ready? My neighbor will lend me 2 eggs. Lend plus person. Question 6. Right or wrong? Here's the sentence. I borrowed this jacket from Jason. Do you like it? Is it right or is it wrong? It is right. In this case, it's totally right. I borrowed something from someone. Questions 7 and 8. Here we go. You are at lunch with your brother, but you forgot your wallet. Yeah, maybe you did it on purpose. I'm not sure. But what will you ask your brother? Here's the sentence. Can I $20 from you? Can I borrow $20 from you? Or you could say, can you me $20? Can you lend me $20? Once again, lend plus person. You could also say, can you loan me $20? But it is less common. So if I were you, I would say, can you lend me $20? Question 9. Let's go. The bank borrowed me money to buy a car. Is it right or is it wrong? Ready? And the answer is, it's wrong. Now, can you correct it? The bank loaned me money to buy a car. In this case, it's a bank loan, so you can use loaned or you can use lent as well. The bank lent me money to buy a car. Questions 10 and 11. Sam had a lot of shopping to do, but Sam doesn't own a car. What did Sam do? Sam his mom's car. Ready? Sam borrowed his mom's car. His mom him her car. You ready? His mom lent him her car. Question 12. Can I lend your bike for the afternoon? I'll bring it back tonight. Is it right or is it wrong? Ready? It's wrong, of course. And can you correct it? Can I borrow your bike for the afternoon? I'll bring it back tonight. Questions 13, 14, and 15. The last ones. Let's go. You want to start a new business and you need $10,000. What will you ask the bank? Okay, here's your sentence. Could I get a $10,000? Ready? Could I get a $10,000 loan? Good. What about this one? Could I $10,000? Could I borrow $10,000? Or the last one, could you me $10,000? Could you loan me $10,000? But of course, you can use could you lend me $10,000? Good job, guys. If you want to learn more useful English, click on the videos on the right-hand side. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.